Hey guys, so in today's video I'm going to be talking about The Muse by Jessie Burton. I picked this book up after I read her first book, The Miniaturist, which I actually ended up really enjoying. There are parts of it that I wish she'd gone into more detail about, but overall I actually thought it was a pretty good book. So I picked this one up hoping I would also enjoy it, and I saw a few reviews but not too many on it. I just thought, I liked the first one, so I'll give this one a go. And the premise was very interesting. The book was split between two different women on two different timelines, between the 1930s and the 1960s, and it followed a aspiring painter called Olive and a aspiring writer called Odele, and she lived in London and Olivia lived in Spain. And it's kind of like almost like a slice of life story, so about their situations they're living in at that time, and their aspirations and how the times they lived in affected them, and relationships with other people. But it's also about how their lives end up being linked in some way, and I thought that was really interesting. But I did have a few issues with this book. Now, I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads, and I kind of thought about this book a long time after I'd finished it. I kept thinking about it and how I was going to review it and what I was going to say, and I don't know, I kind of felt like I was trying to persuade myself that I enjoyed it, and really, I have to admit, I just kind of didn't. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with Jessie Burton's writing. I mean, this is only her second novel, and it has got a lot of praise from a lot of other people. I saw a lot of positive reviews on it, but I just don't think it was for me. I mean, I feel like in her first book, in The Miniaturist, there were things missing out of the story, and I kind of feel like in this book it's the same. It was very, very slow, which is different from her first book. I thought that was pretty well paced and pretty fast paced. But yeah, this book, I feel like the beginning was good when you're getting introduced to the characters. I actually didn't like Odele, the aspiring writer. I didn't like her personality. I actually found her quite stuck up and quite finicky, and I just didn't gel with her. I liked Olive a lot more, the painter. So yeah, I kind of find it hard to read her story, although I think the time in which her life was a little bit more interesting to me, because Olive's was set in Spain. It was during some kind of civil unrest, and there was a lot about the conflict, some civil conflict, which it touched on, not too in depth, but yeah, I found that a little bit boring. I kind of just wanted to know more about Olive and her life. Her family life was quite interesting. But yeah, they both had struggles in their life, and they both kind of had highs and lows within them, trying to, like I said, become a writer and become a painter. And yeah, I don't know, again, I feel like I'm trying to persuade myself I liked it more than I did. I might put it down to 2 stars on Goodreads, I'm not sure. It just didn't really gel with me. Like I said, it was very, very slow, and I found the endings of both of them very dissatisfying, even though they were both very different. The endings and how they were linked was interesting. I did kind of guess about when I was getting closer to the end, like the last few chapters, I was like, okay, I understand what's happening. I understand how they're linked now. Yeah, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give that away to other people. If you really, really enjoyed her first book, I would say give this one a go. It's very well, I like the writing style, it's easy to read. It was a little bit slow and a little bit dissatisfying. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with her work. I have to see what else she comes out with, because yeah, I do find her stories interesting. There was just, I feel like it just wasn't satisfying enough, if that makes sense. I just feel like there was something missing. Yeah, and I found the characters quite difficult in this one. I liked the character in The Miniaturist from the get-go. But yeah, it did get quite a lot of praise though, so maybe I'm just, you know, I have an unpopular opinion about it. Maybe I'm wrong in my review, but yeah, it just wasn't very satisfying to me. The cover is beautiful in this book. And like I said, I am actually glad I read it. I'm just really not sure how I feel about it. I keep going back and forth in my mind whether I really did like it as much as I want to. I think I want to like it more than what I actually do, pretty much. But yeah, like I said, if you did really enjoy her first book, then I'd say give it a go. But yeah, I just think it wasn't really for me. I would have liked her to go more in depth about some stuff, and then other stuff she was kind of writing about I didn't really care, to be honest. And I found it hard to connect with the characters. I connected more with Olive. She was a very fun character to read about. I liked her personality. Her family life was interesting. I liked her character a lot more. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I'll be interested to hear other people's opinions if they agree with me or disagree. Like I said, I haven't heard many people say they didn't really like this book, so maybe it's just me. But if you feel the same, then please let me know in the comments. Like I said, I'd love to know if anyone else has different opinions to me, then let me know. But yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts on it. I liked it, but it wasn't fantastic. Like, it was just unsatisfying. That's how I would describe this book. So yeah, I feel like this review is kind of a little bit of a downer. But like I said, I'm not disappointed that I did read it. I'm glad I did. It was interesting. It was kind of outside my comfort zone. Her stories aren't really the usual kind of stories I read. I like adult fantasy, I like thrillers, I like horrors, and this is none of that. Yeah, this is like a kind of slice of life. I don't know, would you call it a period book? I don't really know. But yeah, so very much mixed feelings. So that's pretty much all I have to say on this book. I have some Jeffrey Deaver book reviews coming up soon. In the month of February, I'm doing kind of like a Jeffrey Deaver readathon, if you will. I have quite a few of his books I want to get through. So that's what I'm reading at the moment. And that's probably what I'll be posting next. And I also have a book thrift haul coming up fairly soon. So yeah, that's all I pretty much have to say on this book. I'm going to stop rambling. And yes, as always, thank you for watching. And until next time, bye guys.